Hey guys, another YouTube video about me facing my choking phobia. Today I'm having leftovers of yesterday, which is basically, I'll show you here, chickpeas and Coke and water. So this isn't all I'm gonna eat today, but you know, I apologize yesterday for the video in terms of like, it was too, sorry, there's things here. It was too like emotional for some people. I understand that, and I don't know. Who am I kidding? No one watches these videos but me. But if anyone was watching it and they, you know, felt, how to explain it? Like, this guy's too emotional, he cries all the time. No, I didn't plan on crying that day. I just happened. So again, anxiety level. My main anxiety right now is, you know what's weird? I'm thinking I should taste it before I, you know, just dig in, just to make sure it's warm. We'll do it after if it's okay. Basically, the anxiety is that these are chokeable because they're really small. You can see, okay, they fell. Sorry, guys. You can see we're high budget productions here at Channel Azamadine Bahati, which is definitely not in any way a real persona. And so here we go. On a scale of 1 to 100, guys, please don't Google me or Facebook me. I really don't want to be contacted. If you want to contact me, just leave comments or, you know, stuff like that. Okay. So I'm going to say 25. It's fairly high. One more thing I wanted to say. I'm not eating the bread anymore. Remember my last video? I had chickpeas and bread. I didn't have the bread. Why? Because yesterday's video took a lot out of me. I know I sound like I'm maybe making an excuse, but basically, I am. The bread's too much. But I think it's not just, who knows, I'm kidding myself. Maybe it is just all choking phobia. So part of me feels like it isn't choking phobia. Part of me feels like it's choking phobia and there's something else to blame. Which is like, just these videos. Hopefully I'll get better. Because it's so hard to make and say my thoughts and my feelings. And I'm basically being my own therapist with the best I can do, you know? Okay. Drop my fork. Twice. At least my anxiety is not 70. But still, I feel cold. And not just physically cold. I feel cut off, alone. What's the word for it? I forgot. Okay, so here I am eating, and that's what I'm doing. Let's see, what do I plan to do later today? Hopefully it'll be a good day. I have work, so I'm not looking forward to it, but I know it's good to like stay positive and kind of be like, okay, I'm gonna go to work now, and you know, it's a fairly easy job. It's actually not a hard job at all. It's like kind of like Uber Eats. You know, you just pick up food from a place and deliver it somewhere else. And my city's really small, so it's not that big of a deal. Even though it's kind of boring working here. I remember it's actually incredibly boring working here. It's a small city. It's not like a big city. There's a big city like about 10-minute, 15-minute drive from here, but I live in a small city. I'm not used to it. And I was born in a big city. I was born in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Which is a fairly big city, about 800,000 people. And then I moved to like a small town where like, I think there's no more than like, I don't even know, it's called Madison, Wisconsin, the capital of Wisconsin in America. And honestly, that wasn't really that big. I don't remember the exact population, but I would be surprised if it was more than 300,000. Then we moved to basically New York. Not New York City, but the suburbs. So like about 25, 30 minutes from New York. And they're all just like really small cities with like 5, 10, 15, 20, 40,000 people here and there. And they're all part of like the whole New York metropolitan area. And I've been to New York City many times. It's actually very cool. Like, I think it is the largest city in America, and it was just so big, and it's so crowded, and it's so hustle and bustle, and there's like newsstands at every corner, and there's like a McDonald's costs more there, and there's Times Square, and you know, I was there during 9/11, and like I was at school, and so many crazy things are in New York, man. New York is like I would watch Saturday Night Live all the time in New York. It felt like so awesome. It was really great. I don't know why I'm mentioning all this. I forget what I was saying. I was just basically saying I was eating or something, and It's good to have good memories to fall back on sometimes when it's too hard. My psychologist recommended having a calm place. So he kind of like recommended breathing, which I showed you in the first exercise, where you basically breathe through your nose calmly. Feel it in here and let that out. You do that 3 times. You slow down your thoughts, slow down your breathing, slow down who you like, basically your physical emotions. You slow down everything. And then what you do is I'm sorry, I forgot what we were talking about. One of my psychologists recommended. He recommended these breathing exercises, but I was going to say something else about food. You know, sorry. It's one of those days. Working and being motivated, right? Working and being motivated, and working and being motivated. So, as I said, I just deliver food in small cities, and I moved from New York. So, from New York. And from New York, and now I'm here in close to in Toronto, basically in a small city in Toronto, the suburbs of Toronto. And as I said, yeah, I'm not. What I meant to say is I'm not used to being in a small city. I like big cities. Sorry, my mind's just everywhere. I'm not making sense sometimes. I'm just because I'm dealing with the food, and then I'm dealing with like making a video, and I'm also dealing with like my job. So. Boy. So unfair that psychologists and psychiatrists and to get access to mental health services cost money. And I think we as a people and governments around the world should make this one of their priorities, if not the most. Because if we solve mental illnesses, we could solve school shootings. We could save money on healthcare in the long run. People getting admitted to hospital rooms for ER visits for suicidal behavior or suicidal thinking. It's very important that these people who are suffering in silence, right, don't suffer anymore and break the silence. And I like to think I'm one of those people. And there's hundreds of millions of people like me, I think. I'm convinced of it, that want to actually make mental health and illnesses the number one priority in the world, basically, or where we live. Let's be honest, people in Africa and Asia and South in the developing countries have very little access to mental health illnesses. Let's be honest. I don't know if they're ever gonna have a chance to actually get better. It's horrific, some of the stories you hear of people in Africa being chained and they can't leave because they have mental illnesses, and they blame it on a demon, jinn. Islamic world, it's very common. They wouldn't let them leave. They would chain them. I've seen it. I've actually seen it. I forget where it was on Google or YouTube, but it's a YouTube video. It's pretty sad. And basically, so we gotta help as much as we can. And it goes back to this whole struggle between the poor and the rich, and the rich manipulate a part of the poor to become richer, and they become the middle class in exchange for their help against the poor in terms of rebellions and uprisings. It's all throughout history. Shays' Rebellion, was it Shays' Rebellion, and then Nat Turner, and over and over and over again, you see rebellions of socialism and Eugene Debs in American history. And you see in the Western world, especially in America, you would see this repetitive revolution, the 60s, and over and over and over again, until you just see it repeating. And we see it now today with the BLM, Black Lives Matter movement. And it's very important for them to recognize also that you need proper mental health. That's very important. I don't know their platform, so maybe they already do that, but I just want to increase mental health awareness as well. I'm getting bored of eating this food because it just doesn't taste very well, and I've almost done it, so I'm just gonna kind of have one more bite, tell you my exposure, and then maybe have the video go on maybe a little bit longer and end it. So it was weird. Last video. When I was crying, I actually felt like I was acting. Feelings are weird. So, actually a bit more hungry. If you guys want to follow me, I'm gonna get those cheeses that they have. They're like Sarah Silverman talked about them. They're like Baby Bell cheese, and they're basically like, I'll just show you. Hold on a second. I'm gonna have two. I'm actually just gonna have one. Here, these guys. My Baby Bell. They're cheese. It's French cheese. I've heard researched. Remember learning about it. They're French cheese that's been shaped in a circle and protected in this plastic. And apparently it's very popular in France when the cheese is like in its normal, brick form. But for some reason here, we North Americans like it in circle forms, like children. So, gonna eat this too. And I highly recommend eating this cheese as maybe a beginner food to start for people who have choking phobia. That doesn't mean that I can't choke on it. That's my mental illness hacking now, but at the same time, it's a food like this with chocolate chip muffins, maybe some hard-boiled eggs, you got yourself a breakfast. And you start that, you work your way up to peanuts, right? You work your way up to peanuts. Not peanuts, right? But trust me, you'll eventually get, because the first thing you're gonna fear, at least for me, is the plastic. There's plastic. You have to take the plastic off the cheese. And what I would do is always look for the little mini plastic. See, there's one right there. You can't see it, and even if I show you, you won't be able to, see if you can see it. There's a mini, small, the red thing, see that red thing? That's the smallest piece of plastic on the cheese. And most people won't even look at the cheese like that. They're just like, whatever. If they do, they just look at it quickly, like, there's all the plastic off. And they would probably just eat that small piece. I wouldn't. Fear of choking, right? It's like in the app. Remember, there's an app called MindShift where you basically, they're telling you about anxiety that you are overestimating the problem. You're overestimating the hazard. So what if you eat a small bit of plastic? Is that plastic going to get lodged in your throat? It's like, I showed you how small it was. Anyway, I'm going to eat this. Save the anxiety. Right? We're down to 25. My mind just goes blank. Really, it goes blank. You know when you see the blue screen on a Microsoft computer? The blue screen of death? That's what my mind does. It'll be normal. As soon as I swallow, error, restart computer. I just can't, I don't know. Here we go. So I feel my anxiety went down by about 10. Started with 25. And I went down to 15. So you guys can do this. And I'm going to end the video here. And I hope you guys have a great, awesome day.